One of the things I was just considering this morning while out on my Uber travels was, what does safety look like for our riders, specifically for women who are taking Ubers when it's dark? So some of the things that go through my mind are, here I am pulling up to this location to pick up the rider. Of course, they summoned the ride, but how can I facilitate that sense and feeling of safety as a vehicle approaches, it's dark, and yeah, like what are some of the thoughts that women may have, especially in relation to their safety? So here's some things that I try to attend to. I try to be disarming. I usually speak first, introducing who I am and what I'm doing, and what my intentions are. Usually when I jump out of the vehicle, that's already something unusual. That's unusual because most don't do that. So jumping out of the vehicle could be startling. And so even as I'm jumping out of the vehicle, I am addressing them in a friendly manner, saying, hey, I'm so-and-so, your Uber rider, and I'm just coming around to grab your door, just communicating what my intentions are. And also in the midst of that, while there is a kindness and a friendliness that's extended, there's also a gentleness, I think, that's also necessary, so that yeah, they don't feel like they don't feel like I'm being pushy or like coercive. I want them to also feel like they can speak to their needs as well. So there's a sense of gentleness as well that I try to ensure is present. And then, of course, even as I'm pulling up, one of the things I'll do is I'll turn on the interior lights of my vehicle, just so they can see on the inside. Because I mean, when it's like dark in here, it can be even more disconcerting perhaps, but if I turn on the lights, at least they can scan and be able to assess before they even get into the vehicle, right? And then of course it's also reading their body language too. Are they super anxious? Are they are they somewhat reticent or not willing to engage? Honoring that perhaps, if that's the case, or if it isn't, then just continuing that friendly banter in ways that is appropriate. So this is like, there'll be times when I hear from some of my Uber riders, and I'm going to make a video about this sometime, when I hear from some of my Uber riders that that some drivers are inappropriate to an extreme level, where they'll be hitting on their riders, they'll be trying to get their number, etc., etc. That's just out of line. That's creepy. That is predatorial. That is inappropriate, and that ought not to be happening. So these are some of the things that I think about when I think about safety, especially how to create that sense of safety and a feeling of safety for female riders who are getting into my Uber when it's dark at nighttime. Some of the things that I try to implement so that it is less stressful, that it's something that helps them be at their ease. I'd love to hear your thoughts on what other things you think should be attended to in this conversation.